From the 1993 release, Lynch Pilson, The Evil That You Are.
Right.
It's been rumored that that's about Dawn.
You think it is?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't think Dawn's evil.
Well, I don't think he is either, but those guys clearly probably
At one time they thought maybe.
Yeah, they either do or did.
Yeah, perhaps.
Dude, if we could get them to answer honestly, wouldn't you like to know what they thought when they saw Don out there with a fucking album without them? The first time when he released Up From the Ashes.
Well, you know, if you watch that Dokken documentary that Razor Fist did.
Yeah, I only got like 10 minutes in.
Well, you know, the thing is what prompted the whole lawsuit.
Right.
Because Mick, Jeff, and George filed a lawsuit against Don.
What, be Dokken without Don?
Well, to keep him from using the Dokken name.
Oh. Okay, that worked well.
Well, it did work well because he couldn't use it.
Do you think that record would have done better if it was called Dokken?
Well, again, this goes back to the whole argument that we have with Bobby Blotzer using the name Rat.
Yeah.
It's name recognition. It's branding or trademark or what's the most popular?
Copyright?
What is it?
Copyright?
No, not copyright. What is it? Brand.
Oh, the brand recognition.
Yeah, the brand recognition.
Right.
They kept Don from using the Dokken name, which is why he released his solo record under Don Dokken.
Right. Because he could do that because that was his legal name.
Yeah, but he couldn't use just Dokken.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy because that's his name.
Right.
But they filed a lawsuit which kept him from doing that.
Right.
And same thing with when Piercy left Rat. You know, DeMartini and Blotzer filed a lawsuit against Steven to keep him from using the Rat name.
But that did not work.
Well, it didn't. Well, it did work. Because
he was Stephen Piercy's Rat.
Yeah, I know, but he couldn't use that after that.
Oh, is that so? At first,
that's
Steven
when he turned into the Rat Bastards.
So Steven just used it until it was against the law.
Correct. That's correct.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he used Stephen Piercy's Rat until the final ruling came down, and then he went to Stephen Piercy's Rat Bastards.
So that was similar to what Queensryche just went through,
more or less.
Right. Okay.
And then touring Warren and Bobby with Jizzy, could go out as Rat,
right?
But they couldn't record under the Rat name
without Steven.
Yes.
So stupid.
I know, but that's how that shit works.
I don't want to dig that whole grave again, but boy, those guys really did piss away a good thing.
They did. So, you know, a couple of weeks ago, Bobby announced that he was taking over the Rat name.
Right.
Now Warren has filed a lawsuit against Bobby to keep him from using the Rat name.
So stupid.
So again, this is all pissing and fighting and carrying on. It's just sad.
It is. So let's just and the worst part is now they can't even regroup.
Not anymore. It's kind of like pretty much ruined that whole thing. I mean, I know it was ruined before.
Yeah.
But now it's really ruined.
Yeah, I mean, they can't regroup and come back and say, okay, well, we made up. Pay us $50,000 a night again. It's not going to happen. Because it's just a fucking joke now.
It is.
Ugh.
So it's over.
I got to say, though, I'm glad that Don did not tour with fucking 3 other guys and call it Dokken. That would have been as shitty as Jeff Tate going out with Queensryche, you know, with that hodgepodge that he had last time.
Right. But Pink Floyd did the same thing.
No, they didn't. They had 3 of the members.
Now listen to what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
When Roger Waters left the band, okay, he sued the other guys to keep, well, I can't remember if he or it was the other way around, but there was a lawsuit there because Roger Waters went out as Pink Floyd.
Did he?
He did.
He toured without those guys as Pink Floyd?
He did. During, I think it was 86, was it?
Really?
Yeah. And they sued him, and then he couldn't use the Pink Floyd name.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
there was 2 Pink Floyds at one time during 1 year.
Wow.
I think it was
that was when they had Delicate Sound of Thunder, right?
Yeah, right around that time.
Okay. Wow, I was unaware. See, I never, that was out when I was out of the country too. It was 86, 87.
Yeah. So there was a big lawsuit then because Waters was using the Pink Floyd name, and the other 3 guys sued him to keep him from using the Pink Floyd name.
Right. Wow. I was unaware.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the first of those type of lawsuits.
Right.
Where one of the key members was using the name and the other members sued him and said, no way.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big money lawsuit there because Pink Floyd was selling out stadiums.
They were. And did up until the division bell back in, 94?
Even now, if Pink Floyd toured today, they would say, dude, I went and saw Roger Waters at a sold-out Gund Arena.
Sure.
And that was just Roger. It was a big show and one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life. But,
right.
But it was just Roger and a bunch of other guys. And I'm telling you, the Gund Arena, I think it was 2 nights, was sold the fuck out.
Sure.
You know, I was so lucky. Matt Wardlaw called me day of show and was like, dude, I got an extra ticket. Do you want to go? And I couldn't get in my car fast enough.
Right.
You know, I didn't want him making one other call. But yeah, wow, that had to be I wonder how much money whoever lost had to pay.
I don't know, but all I know is I think that was the first time that type of lawsuit took place.
Because, oof. But, dude, speaking of Pink Floyd, I'm going to take back something that I said 2 or 3 weeks ago on the show. Remember a couple weeks ago I talked about the new record from David Gilmour?
The solo?
Yeah, the solo, okay, Rattle the Lock.
Yeah.
I'm going to take back my statement that it blows. I gave it another listen, like when I was in a different mood, and it's really quite good. But you got to be in the right mood to listen to it.
Sure.
You cannot be in a mood looking for Pink Floyd sounding shit.
Right.
But if you're like last night, I was just kind of in a mellow mood, and I was reading, and I turned it on, and that was a pretty good listen.
Okay.
When it was mellow. So I'm pulling back something I said earlier, and now I'm going to say that it's really not too bad.
All right.
So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, this Pink Floyd thing happened in 86.
Okay.
Years battling between Roger Waters and David Gilmour over the direction of Pink Floyd had drained their partnership of its creativity. Rogers quit formally in December of 1985,
right,
assuming that would end the group. When the band started working on a Pink Floyd record without him in 1996, he went to the High Court and asked that they barred from using the name without his consent. After much legal wrangling, he conceded rights to the name to the group in exchange for the concept of the wall. So Roger Waters gets the wall.
Okay, which he's capitalizing on now.
Yeah, which is kind of like, Jeff Tate,
right,
taking Operation Mindcrime.
Right.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm, same.
While Floyd went on to release A Momentary Lapse of Reason, an enormous comeback that many fans don't feel represents the band at their best. So there you go. So Waters said, okay, I'll take the wall.
Right.
Those guys can have the Pink Floyd name.
Right.
That's how it works out.
Right. Who did better after they broke up?
I would say Pink Floyd as the entity. Yeah, I do.
I don't know. Maybe financially, but who put out better music?
Oh, well, I'm not going to argue that because that's subjective.
I'm just looking at their list. They only put out 3 records after he left.
Well, but Pink Floyd never was like, 1 year after the next. They always took like 3 or 4 years between each break.
No, they didn't. I'm looking at their numbers right here. 67, 68, 69, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 75, 77, 79, 83. So that was pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And then 87 was obviously they had all the court shit going on. So 87, then 94, and then 2014. Nothing for 20 years after Division Bell.
Yeah. I saw that Division Bell tour at the old Cleveland Stadium.
How was that?
Well, it was hard to watch because there was actually snow blowing in from the lake.
What was the fucking month and year of this?
It was like April.
Jesus Christ.
It was really cold, and the wind and the snow were blowing off Lake Erie.
So you saw Pink Floyd in a snowstorm.
It was a snowstorm. We actually left like probably 30 minutes before it was over.
Right.
Because I was frozen to the bone.
Wow.
Because the snow was blowing in off the lake so hard. Right. I couldn't, because the snow was blowing into my face so hard, I couldn't keep my eyes open.
Okay.
And it was just like, let's just get the fuck out of here. It was terrible.
That's horrible.
It was way too cold and way too early in the season for an outdoor concert.
Yeah, I'd say if it was snowing. Wow, the closest I've ever come to that was I saw Genesis the first week of May at the stadium once, and we had like a windstorm.
Yeah.
And they had these big before they had screens on the side of the stage, they had those what do you call those things? The big covers, whatever they are, that are like with the band artwork or whatever.
Yeah, scrims.
But they were giant, like 10-story scrims.
Sure.
And those things, of course, ripped off, went flying into the crowd. And, even though it shouldn't be, that's kind of dangerous. Shit probably weighed 200 pounds.
Right.
Just flying out into the crowd. It was fucking nutty, but it was a good show.
Yeah. Well, the Division Bell tour was a huge stadium tour.
Sure.
And it, like I said, it came to Cleveland probably in the end of April.
Right.
And it was just too early in the season for an outdoor concert. But I went, and man, I'll tell you what, that snow and that wind and everything coming off the lake was just so unbearable that, I just had to leave.
Right.
It was just cold and snow and frozen, and it was just terrible.
That's awful. Now, I've heard rumors that Waters is going to do the Wall Tour again this year.
That's what I understand.
Are you going to go?
No, I'm not interested enough to see it. No,
dude, I'm not one to ever say that's a don't miss, but that was. I'm telling you, of all the shows I've seen, which is not as many as you, I don't think, but I've seen several hundred shows. That was number 1 or 2 ever.
Yeah,
that show is amazing.
Really?
Oh, dude, just not. I mean, Roger sounds good. And he plays well, but the technological side to it was awesome.
Right.
I mean, dude, he does this thing with these bricks, and obviously he's building the wall.
Sure.
And it starts with an empty stage, and by the end of it, there's this huge wall, and they knock it down and whatever. But I don't know how they do it with this multimedia thing. It's got to be a fortune to build. But they put in these bricks. Like, they have guys that just keep steadily through the show. They're putting in these bricks. And the multimedia runs on the white bricks. Okay? So there's like movies and shit, that correspond with the songs. But they don't spew all over the screen or all over the stage or whatever. It only plays on the bricks.
Okay.
And when they're putting in a brick, there's nothing on the thing until the brick is wedged into place. Then all of a sudden it turns on, and then there's like another addition to the screen.
Right.
It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I don't know how they did it. I looked because where I was sitting fairly close, maybe like 10 rows back, 15 rows back, to where I could see. And I kept looking back, trying to see if there was some sort of a projector hitting this shit. And, you know, I could see backstage, and I was looking for projection from that side, and there wasn't. I don't know how they did it, but I think he literally had some kind of system built that was literally like 500 TVs that all locked into place and turned on when they were locked into place.
Okay.
That was synchronized to whatever they were doing. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen in a concert.
Right.
And I know I'm doing a terrible job explaining it.
I kind of follow what you're saying.
It was, I've never seen nothing as cool as this.
Well, after seeing that Scorpion show a couple of weeks ago with the LED lighting, that was pretty damn amazing. So I kind of get it. They probably had like LED panels or something.
Yeah,
that plugged in, and then after they plugged each individual panel in,
right,
it probably projected whatever it is that, you know, was programmed into the computerization or something.
Yeah, it's something that I don't know has ever been done by, probably because of the price. You know, I have to think, I mean, literally, there's probably 400 bricks, you know, that build this wall.
Yeah, so it's probably LED panels.
Yeah, but to build 400 of them that all tie together,
well,
it's got to be $500,000.
Well, again, I would estimate that Scorpion show that I saw a couple of weeks ago.
Sure,
I would guarantee you that stage setup was probably $5 million.
And I would bet you anything this whole stage was more, because part of it is like there's like props and stuff that are built into the wall with, like, in addition to, you have to see it, dude. I recommend go out to YouTube and just look it up tomorrow. I'm sure it's out there, the full show. But part of it is he does, you know, the scenes like that he did in the movie The Wall, where he's sitting in the chair and folks ringing and shit like that.
Right.
Pieces of the wall fold down and that pulls out of the wall, and he's actually doing it. Like in the wall, and then it folds back, and then the fucking projection starts again.
Sure.
It was cooler than cool, man. I don't know how to explain it. I know the DVD is coming out in November. Whoever just posted that, I will be a first day buyer, and I have not bought a DVD of anything in years. And I have to own it, because it was an amazing thing. Right. If it comes to Chicago, dude, you have to go. I don't care what it costs. I'll go with you.
Okay.
Say that now. If it comes to Chicago and not Cleveland, even if it just comes to Chicago, I'll go.
All right. Oh,
I don't care if it's $150 a ticket. I'm going.
Sure.
Don't care. It's worth it.
All right. Take your word for it.